Everybody, good morning. Looks like we got channel members. Ivan, Sergio, Dan, Mark, Darren, Will, Ed, Cliff. Good to see everybody. Rex, Don, Svinborn, Arturo. I see. People have been channel members long enough. We got all different colors going now. General Rush, good to see you, sir. Love to see it. Love to see it. So the little badges by your name, they color depending on how long you're a channel member. And we got some different colors going, so I love to see it. Love to see it. And how about this one right here? How about this right here? Look at this. Oh, what a tweet can do for the market, even when it's closed. Look at this. That right there, that big green candle. Yesterday, coming from Trump, tweeting about creating a crypto strategic reserve. Yep, that's he said we're basically going to do it. We're going to have a crypto summit on Friday, on the 7th. This right here, that was the big news right there. He tweeted out, it kind of freaked everybody out at first. XRP, Solana, ADA, we're going to have this strategic reserve. And then he said, oh, and obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum and other valuable cryptos. So that was the spark and the catalyst for this big rally yesterday. Get a little bit of pullback today, but this might be the catalyst that takes the whole market higher. Remember, Bitcoin is the ultimate risk-on, risk-off asset out there. What does that mean? It means when the market has an appetite for risk, Bitcoin goes up in a leveraged way. When the market is risk averse, like we saw right over here, we see it drop out. And look at this. Look at this. Guess where I put the bottom? Anybody remember that? Anybody remember? Anybody remember? Look at that price right there. Almost to the dollar where we dropped to. Sometimes I get lucky on this thing. So this was a buying opportunity right back there. If you missed it, no FOMO, just take it in stride. Take it in stride. So still opportunity. We're not at all-time highs yet. We're going to have to get up through this. Dun, 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 dun. We got down here. We got to the bottom of the yellow box where I thought we would. This high right there, this low all the way down here. That 618 zone coming up right there. So we're stalled out just below it. We need to push on through. If we can, probably coming on out. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's not like magic. And for those of you who did Crypto Unleashed, it's probably going to be time to book the trade. I mean, you can gamble on it, but I would book some profits. It's the smart thing to do, right? There's no guarantees. There's no guarantee we get through the 618 zone. There's no guarantee that this takes us on higher right now. No guarantees in the market. All right, everybody cool? Everybody understand? Yeah, I nailed the bottom. I mean, look at that. Yet again, I nailed the bottom within a pretty tight range. And we're set to pop up. This is classic. We pop back up above the roadmap line, come back, test it, and then get on going. That's the classic price action we see over and over and over in the market. We'll see. Doesn't have to do it. It's just very classic. Like 70% of the time, 60% of the time. I don't know. We see that kind of thing. We roll back. Look at the last time. Look, popped up, retested, ran away. This one did take a couple times. This one took a couple attempts before we could get going. Always keep in mind, doesn't just have to go. So, anyway, I like to see it. This could potentially take the whole market higher because of the risk on, risk off nature of Bitcoin. Be like, oh yeah, the market's back, risk on. We're seeing ES higher. We still have that 618 level right up there. We did the bounce off the roadmap line. All the things I've been looking for. Now, that's all the good news, right? All the good news. We're potentially bouncing. We're potentially going higher. We're potentially going to make higher highs on ES, NQ, Bitcoin. The problem, if we run this out really quickly, April, May, we get up here to these levels in the next, March, April, May, we could be setting up for an epic crash into the summer. Big potential correction. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you come back, check in on me. I'll keep you abreast of the situation, but this is starting to develop out here that we might top out here April, May, possibly into June. That's kind of been the timeline I've looked at for those of you who've been hanging out with me for more than a couple days. That's the kind of timeline I outlined all the way back, I think before the beginning of the year, possibly. I don't even remember. I say these things like I kind of like speculate on a timeline. I was looking at, maybe we get this pullback after the inauguration. Guess what just happened? And then we break out new highs, push it a little crazy. We could get even higher, could ramp up in here. And then we roll over. So, yeah, we need it to hold and move up. That's true, Skags. I would love to see it. Love to see everything hold, go higher. But remember, especially on Bitcoin, when we get to the target land, when we get to the target zone up here, this zone right up in here, it's not even on this chart. I don't know which one. Oh, I pulled up Bitstamp instead of the all-time history. Pulled the all-time history. When we get up here to the target zone, that could be the top. That could be the top. Please protect yourself. Please be ready. Especially if that happens in the next, if it lines up with the market going higher, if we explode this thing right up into that zone, for the love of everything, please be careful. That can kick off the next crypto winter. It won't matter, strategic reserve or not. This thing can go down with the market. Unintended consequences of all the other events going on. Put it that way. In Q, potentially bouncing. I love to see it. Like I'm glad we didn't just drag this out forever. Honestly, that would have been rough. So at this point, there's our high, there's our low. High back in December, low just Friday. Now, be careful thinking about the lower low thing. We have a couple day cautionary period here. Yes, the S&P does not typically bottom on a Friday. That's like 90% of the time. We do not make a low on a Friday. But that all said, that upwards of 10% of the time, 5 to 10% of the time, we do make a bottom on a Friday and we keep going. So we have a danger period here, Monday, Tuesday, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, that we may make a lower low. It's possible this comes up and, this rally stalls out. We see a reversal, a dip back down before we go higher. That's possible. But if we break through the 618 zone, probably cruising on higher. All right, Steve, good to see you. Glad to see everybody. Amy, AT, Merle, Kay, Wade, Alan, Mary, Mike, Devin, Jan, Kohler, Mark, Alan, Craig, Diana, Laura, Melissa, Larry. Glad to see everybody this morning. So, anybody not clear about the potential here for the next couple days and looking out into early summer? I've got it like pretty locked in, like where we're going. You got to be able to survive, but this is pretty locked in. Now, look at that. We scraped the top of the target. Look at that. I mean, that might be ready to rally back up. I mean, dang, man. Sometimes I get lucky at this stuff. I don't even know. I don't even know sometimes. Look at that. Scrape the top of the target. I don't even remember when I drew that. We didn't come up as high as I thought we would. And then we didn't go as low as I thought we would, but that did the thing I said we were going to do on Russell too. So now Russell has this major resistance zone right here. Major resistance. If we rally up to that, while everything else rallies to higher highs, sets this up for a big down. Cautionary zone right there. Now there's potential. We get above that zone. We could come on up here. It's a potential. I'm not feeling it very strongly, though. Not feeling that we're going to do that very strongly at all. Don't think we're going to bust up and go higher. So, take some of these targets off of here at this point. We've already done all these things. We did the things I said we're going to do. It's kind of crazy that way, right? I mean, let me know in the chat if you're like shocked that I've gotten some of this stuff right. I shock myself, in all honesty. I'm not kidding at all. Anybody that's met me in person, you guys, Kimberly, she's in the chat, my favorite subscriber. My lovely wife, Kimberly. I tell her all the time, I'm like, I don't know how I do it. We have this conversation. She's probably sick of hearing me say that, but it shocks me when I get these things and they do it. And I don't know. I'm in disbelief right now, holding the uptrend of lows on oil. If we get below that, we're coming on down to the 60 area, more than likely. There's a few other potential support levels that may not, we may not go all the way down to 60. We could just dip below this low from back here in May of 23. But I think somewhere in this zone, if we break down below that uptrend of lows, if we do that, probably coming down in this zone right here. I put this one on the chart a long time ago. If we broke down there, we're probably coming on down. We have this big watermelon seed squeeze thing that we were working on for a long time. We kind of broke down below it. I thought we might go stretch it down, but we kind of faked it out and chopped around. Now we haven't really gone anywhere on oil for, gosh, how long is that now? Right there's oil. We've just been shopping around for 2 years. Two years and 3 months, 25 months. Just chopping. Makes it really tough, right? Like, there's no trend in oil. Didn't do head and shoulders. There's all these things that just haven't panned out. If we break back above the roadmap line, this can shoot us up into this area, 82 to 83, pretty quickly. I'm not sure that this little trend line means anything anymore. We just kind of sliced right through it. We've got the long-term trend line, downtrend of highs. We tried to bust through, got rejected pretty hard, went all the way back down to that uptrend of lows. So this kind of like, here's supports, and here's resistance. Be careful on any breakout either way. It could be a fake out and go the other way very easily, very quickly. In fact, we may see, since we faked out on the upper side, we may fake out on the lower side and reverse it really quickly. Would not surprise me. It's just kind of the kind of market shenanigans we do there. Yeah, be careful thinking anything over 170,000 on Bitcoin. Just, I can't make a solid case for that right now. Anything over about 170,000. Just be careful. I mean, it's okay to be optimistic, but be realistic too. Especially if you got much money involved in it. Gold. Look at that retrace. Coming back down, potentially to the breakout. This did some damage on the GLD chart. There's the breakout level. Market's open. We hit that 1618. Look at that. You don't think there's some magic to this stuff? Look at that. Perfect retrace back here. Didn't hit the roadmap line. Didn't hit the roadmap line. First move up, retrace, rip right up and stop dead right on that 1618. Retracing back down in here. It's potential we can hold this and go higher. There's the potential, but it's also a high potential we come all the way back down in here. Maybe like, no freaking way. We'll see. We'll see. This chart has giant potential, but it's just not doing it. It's just not doing it. Man, bunch of stuff firing off this morning. Crazy. Just not, like, we don't have the higher high. This may result in a flush down here. We did some damage on these charts with that pullback. This chart especially not good. That's going to have to break out above that 4260 level to indicate we're going higher on GDX. Otherwise, this can very easily, very, very easily. This could be a 5 down, 3 up. Could see another 5 down to a lower level here on GDX. Could be something down in this area if we're going to break down. Watch out for the support in this vicinity right here. If we get through it, probably coming on down here. Bitcoin, as I said, hopefully we can go higher here. We've got that resistance. We've got to get through that zone to go higher. Ethereum, we got the lower low. We did the lower low. Can we break back above the downtrend of highs? That's the big question here. If we can, great. We can potentially go on up, get some of these upper targets, potentially all the way up to 6,000. If we reject off that, we're potentially coming down here to the triple digits on Ethereum, even with a strategic reserve. Remember, there's no cap on Ethereum. When we come down here and look, there's a cap. There's a limit on the number of Bitcoin, 21 million. And people are like, oh, we just changed the code and there could be more. No, it's not going to happen. But Ethereum, there's no cap. They just changed the supply on a whim. Right now it's inflationary. There's actually more being created than being burned. At least last time I checked the numbers. XRP has a cap. But also, look, only 57% of that, 58% of that is on the market. Think about it. 40% of it dumps into the market. What does that do to price? Supply and demand. Be careful. Solana has no cap. It's another dangerous one. ADA, like 78% of it's on the market. So be careful. Be careful chasing some of these. Ethereum, potential to go down if we don't. There's the support. Support zone pretty clear right in here. There's the support pretty clear right in that zone. If we get down below it, probably come down to triple digits. If we can break out, potentially going all the way up here. Big opportunity, but also big risk. NKD, back up in the box. That's what I wanted to see. Look at those long tails. This indicating global liquidity. Might take us back to the top of the box. Can we break out? This may all get pretty spicy to the upside here in the next couple of weeks. We're actually seeing global liquidity increase in the last couple of weeks. And Bitcoin usually lags that 2 weeks, and then the market follows along. So we can see this all take us higher. Dollar coming back down pretty viciously. As I said, we probably bounce. I thought we would get up to here. We may still do that. Still upside potential on the dollar. Support very clear right here. We get below that, probably coming on down. And Nvidia not turning it yet. Nice big higher low so far. If we get back above the roadmap line, got that downtrend of highs, potentially take us up in here. Something to watch out for. Something to watch out for. Yeah, everything looks pretty good. Like this one's the only one I'm like, I would have really liked to see this one also touch the roadmap line. We came up just, I mean, is that close enough? Was that close enough? We missed it by a little bit. We're talking about 9 points or something like that. Was it close enough, or are we going to come back and actually hit it? That's the thing to watch out for right here. So we consolidated right here for a couple days before we plummeted down. This was a big crazy thing on Friday. Do we come down again and actually touch? I don't know. My crystal ball is not quite that clear. In fact, I don't have a crystal ball. I got a bag of unicorn dust right here. You can buy this on, I think you can buy it on Amazon. It's Friction Labs unicorn dust. It's cheap, made in Colorado. Sprinkle it down the market every time I get, every chance I get. But you see how that works out for us. MSTR. That one hit the roadmap line. Can that be the bottom? For all of our sake, I hope so. It is not the big move up I would expect. See, Bitcoin's back up in kind of this vicinity. This one maybe not done yet. We did have further support down here. Caution. Now, also, rewind, look at history. Got to go back. Got to go back. This is when Bitcoin topped. That's when MSTR topped. Watch out for this choppiness on MSTR. If we do this again, that high that we put in place currently might be it. That's the warning signs, all right? If we start just chopping around, not breaking higher, not doing bullish stuff, we may just consolidate out here while Bitcoin goes higher, and then get a bigger downside on MSTR. I go pull everything moving $2 or more up in the pre-market, put it on the gainers list, $2 or more down, put it on the decliners list, which is way down here today. We'll look through, try to find some opportunities, and talk about a few things moving. And then we'll wrap up with, I have a bonus trade today. Looks pretty good, pretty spicy. And then we'll talk about my bias for the day before we wrap up. So make sure you stick around to the end if you want to see that, or if you got something to go do, you can always come back, check on this later, watch the replay. Alrighty. Come on. Load the roadmap line, please. Pretty please. There it goes. So there's potential for that to come on down. There's also potential that that was close enough and we're set to go higher. So how do we know? Conservative entry is a break back above the 618. So that high, that low. This zone right here, get above it. Potential for this to go higher. Up into this zone right here for the target. Coin turning. Opportunity here on coin. This might be the bottom. Might be. If you want a leverage way to play without buying options. When you buy an option, you got to be right on time and direction. And you got to not overpay to make good money. So how do you know how fast this is going to go? Does it work in JT's timeline? Or does it last on out to October, potentially? If we look at the last couple halvings, the timeline for the halving could take us out to October. So what do you do? Do you play December on coin? Do you play January next year on coin? Do you play out to 27 on coin? Give yourself way extra time? Do you pay, or do you just play a Connell and not have to worry about the cost of your options? So we'll look at the timeline here. Out a year. IV down to 64. If you play out a week, you're at 87% on your IV. IV is just implied volatility. That's just straight up cost in the options. That's what decays with. So every day that the market goes along and nothing crazy happens, the IV drops, implied volatility drops, and theta value. Like we talk about theta decay on options. I've been talking about this lately because a lot of people don't seem to fully understand when you play options, you're buying implied volatility. Especially if you play at the money. And you watch a lot of big people, Nancy Pelosi, a lot of other big players, hedge funds and stuff, and they play deep in the money. Why do they play deep in the money? Because they're trading some of that time value, some of that extrinsic value for intrinsic value. In the moneyness, as they call it. Now, there's still IV in here, but when you look at the expected move, and you want to know what the expected move is for any expiration, you come over here, you take the bid on both sides of the at the monies, and you add them together. And right now we can't get the price, but that's basically a $36 move they're pricing in right there by March or April 4th on coin. $36 move. There, it jumped around a little bit. Take the at the monies, sell them on both sides. That's how you get the rough estimated move priced into the market. For any, it works on any ticker. Now, it's not perfect, but it's a rough guesstimate. I mean, get you there, get you in the ballpark within usually a few cents, maybe $1. Now, you can do some other tools and really, spend a lot of time on it, but for quick and dirty, which is all you really need, how much move are they expecting? That's how you figure it out. So this one right here, Seems my data is not really moving either. Potential to break back higher. Get back up in this 618 zone. We get above that. Going higher on coin. Race. Nice big fat retrace. Bounced off the 1448, which is 90% of the way to the 1272. Coming on down. This is probably going to bounce a little bit and get the next move down, would be my guess right there. Then we'll see if we break below the roadmap line, we could go deeper. If we bounce off, we'll probably go back up, make the next high. That would be my expected path on race. DPZ. This has a long-term bearish potential. First move down, retrace, nice three wave. First move down, retrace, next move down, retrace, next move down. Could take us down in this zone around 200, 240, 250. Be careful chasing DPZ. It might have a downside. Now, if it can break out, potentially get higher, we could go on to look for higher targets, probably somewhere up in the 700 zone. But right now, this is a dangerous game to play. That's a large downside. Large downside. That's like 50% downside for potential 50% upside. 50-50. A little bit of a coin flip. I actually booked my profit when we were down here last. Made some money on it. Not as much as I hoped, but I got out of the way. ASML, I still expect this to drop down to the low 600s. We are under the roadmap line, just consolidating in this zone. PTIR is PLTR's leveraged instrument. Be careful, this can still come down and hit the roadmap line, but with the size of that retrace, we could be done. Could be done for now. We could see a bounce back up into the 618 zone. It is a 4-hour potential right there. Could take us up into that zone right there at that 107 area. So we can see this bounce back up to 107 and then come on down. Boil, natural gas, ultra, leveraged natural gas, getting a little pop, but this looks like it's bleeding off. Gonna come back down to that 4-hour line. If not, break through the daily, and that 4-hour probably take us to the bottom of the daily. So we broke through, retesting. Do we hold it and turn higher? Or do we break back down and go lower? I'm not sure on gas right now. LNG potentially popping on that Ukraine deal Friday. Seems like weeks ago now. All the things happening. Zelensky I guess Zelensky and Trump kind of getting in an argument a little bit, and Trump telling him to go pound sand, and natural gas popping a little bit. So with that, I saw this trade on my new little scanner thing right here. Check this out right here. Pull it over, show you. This baby. LNG right there. Somebody bought 280 strike calls out to 2026. So we're not playing close here. They spent $3 million on it, or 2.9 million. It would be, we're gonna split hairs. What's $100,000 among friends, right? Spent $3 million on this. That seems like somebody was kind of betting that this might come on higher again. Was that close enough to be a bounce? Possibly. Run the high to low. We've got our resistance zone right up here. We can see this rally on up and potentially roll down. Like that. Now, the only thing I caution about on this, zoom it back up here. The open interest was a little higher than I usually like to see it. Usually I like to see this open interest near 0 and all the volume be what somebody just bought. That's the caution here. That's joining other players here on that trade. And I usually like to see it when somebody's coming in almost no open interest and just buying a big chunk. So that's the only caution on that one. Might not work. Not saying and 280 is actually, holy moly, look at where 280 is. All the way up here. They're playing $3 million of those calls up there in that zone. If you think about it, maybe they were selling calls. Maybe they're selling the upside calls. It's possible. But that's way up there. So ACON, not enough candles to. That looks like a hot mess. Hot mess. I would not mess with this. Reverse split, did something with the price action, and yeah, just no, not for me. ITCI, that's another hot mess I would not mess with right now. It's probably got some kind of drug news, whatever. Maybe a buyout. Yeah, I wouldn't mess with that. Biotech Pharma, I just stay away. It's not the game I want to play. Constellation Energy, potentially 1, 2, 3, right down to the roadmap line. Potential to push down just a little bit lower into that support. Turn back above the 618 resistance and 368 target if we can do it. INTW, that's Intel leverage. Let's go check out the Intel chart. Any leverage chart, just go look at the underlying. Now, this did the thing, right? What have I said? We typically bust above the roadmap line, come back, retest it, then we potentially move up. Very classic. Break back above that 618, take us up to 28 area up in there. Potentially right up in here. If we can get above these highs. Not giant trade, just a nice little normal base hit, high probability setup right there. Now this is turning red and may go lower, so be careful on that one. INOD potentially coming back down to the roadmap line, all the way back down in the 30 area, right down in here. Hey Charlie, good to see you. Win still has downside potential. We did bust up through the roadmap line, came back tested it. Same thing. Back test, potential to go higher. Resistance, big long-term resistance at that downtrend of highs that keeps coming down through there. Zoom her out, zoom her out, zoom her out. This one, and then one just above it for even longer turn back. Can we get the energy to bust above it? That's the big question. That's been intact for 11 years. It's downtrend of highs. It's been in a downtrend for 11 years. Do you want to mess with this? Do you want to bet we're done? I mean, this could do another 11 years before it actually breaks out. I don't know. That's not where I'm putting my money right now. General Dynamics, back to the breakout level, dipped in. Potentially this is done. Correcting. There's potential. They make military weapons, aerospace and defense. Potential for this to break on higher. But I'm not sure that 618 looks like it's in the right spot. I mean, it looked better if it was down here. So this may actually get a bounce and then a lower low. This may actually bounce up, something like this. turn down, get a move lower, right down in here, pull that bigger 618 down into this vicinity before we can make a bottom and go higher. It just doesn't look like it's in the right spot for long term. Tends to put itself in a spot that makes sense. KKR. There's the high, there's the low. We can break back above the 618, 177 on the upside. Riox. If Riot is going, this is a 2x leverage on Riot. If Riot is going to turn and burn, this one should turn and burn. Can't really do much on this chart. Riot looks like a hot mess. Riot. Put the letters in the right order. It's a hot mess of chap right there. Potentially higher low. Just kind of clean this up. I've said lots of things, but just look at the recent price action. Ignore everything else. Like potential measure bounce. There's that low, there's that high, there's that retrace. This would potentially put it a target right up in this zone right there. If we can break back above that stuff right there. MT. Wow. It's been going nowhere for a couple years. Absolutely nowhere. I just don't chase after stuff like this. There's plenty of other stuff to look at in the market. HODL. If that's the right one. No, it's this one. That high, this low. If this breaks back above here, potential to come on up here for HODL. It's Bitcoin Trust for Van Eck. Just Bitcoin. Obviously getting a retrace on Bitcoin. It's expected. EUAD. Probably coming back down. PLTU. 2x leverage on PLTR, just like PTIR. Reddit, watch out. If this starts breaking, like we're probably coming back to the roadmap line. And if it starts breaking down, we could see this return back down, way back down here. STCE. That high, that low. We break back above this zone right in here. Same pattern, same thing all the time. There's the high, there's the low. If you wonder what this magic orange line is, roadmap line, link in the description down below. Or if you don't want to buy it, you just want to get it, you want to find out more about it, there's a video on my homepage. Go to my channel homepage right underneath me here, click my name, go to the homepage, watch that video that I got pinned to the channel. It tells you all about the roadmap line, how it works, what the code is, how to put it on your charts. If you just want to click an easy button though, it links in the description. It's like $5. $5. Easy peasy. Just click it and put it on the chart. Potential right there. STCE. LEU. Probably coming down to the roadmap line after hitting upside. Missed the roadmap line back here. NET. This might get an intermediate bounce and come on down. ASTS. Bounced off the 618 zone. Might set us up for going a little lower. Of course, it may come back and find support at the roadmap line here. Remember that bust above, retrace, potential like that. BTIO, nice little pop, giving it back pretty viciously. Obviously, the market's rolling a little bit here. Somebody got caught. Market. The big players got caught. They need Bitcoin to dip back down, so they're pushing it down hard. We may see it do a 618 retrace before we go higher. That's the resistance right there. AMAT, potential downside right here. MSTZ, so decliners, things that were down $2 or more. 2x inverse on MSTR, getting hit a little bit, but coming back strong. That's a nasty chart with a reverse split in there. Be careful. ETHD, ultra short Ethereum. As I said on Friday, we might find the high there and go lower. That's the rub that bounce upside down right there. So just like we come down and bounce, this came up and bounced and potentially going lower, maybe down to $7 or $11, something like that. IQV, another one bouncing, coming lower. There's the low, there's the high, bounced off, coming lower, 179 potential. TSDD, 2x leverage short on Tesla. I don't know. That looks like a dangerous chart for going lower there. Day is not the right ticker. It's Dayforce. Wow, what a choppy mess. I wouldn't mess with that. Has potential to bounce, but Jiminy Christmas, man. That's been resistance for a while. Yeah. I don't see a lot of opportunity there right now. It's going to have to prove that to me. SBIT, short Bitcoin. Getting whacked, but coming back. There's potential that this actually spikes if we go push Bitcoin back down. BITI. Another short Bitcoin. Be careful. FTRE. That's getting whacked. And you can go keep on dropping. Another short Tesla. What is Tesla doing anyway? A little bit of pop, but giving it back. Potential bottom in place, but I don't know. It was on down the low. I guess we hit that one earlier. I skipped over that one. I skipped over a whole bunch of these. Must have jumped around. Tesla resistance up here. As long as we're down here, downward pressure. CRWD, potential to have bounced. But it may make a little lower low down to the roadmap line. Carvana. Tag the roadmap line. Potential to bounce again. Load, please. There we go. Potential to bounce, but may push a little lower. Spotify. Potential to come back to the roadmap line. Probably down somewhere right here. Load, please. Golly, slow. Come on. Yep, right there. Been doing this long enough, I can kind of see where it's supposed to be. All right. Go hit a few more of the decliners. Wrap this baby up. Go get on with our days. LI. All these leverage things. Yeah, LI is coming back to the roadmap line. FTAI. Watch out. That may go lower. SMS. Yeah, garbage. Garbage. All right. Let's talk about opportunity, shall we? What kind of opportunity we got here today? Browser, copy this baby, post it over here. Here's the opportunity. This one's set up on Friday. We got the high. We got the low. We got a close back above the 618. That leaves us upside opportunity. This is a low price thing, so be careful. It's $5.44. That gives us upside potential of 59 cents. $6 is the target. 364 is the stop. 94% of the time this works out with a profit factor of 13. Usually takes about 36 days on average over 17 trades since 2001. This is interesting. It's a lower price thing. Like some people are like, why do you always give out the high price stuff? Well, here's the low price stuff. Right here. You'd be like, low price stuff, you can't expect a giant percent. Like, you're not going to get a $20 move on a low price ticker, right? When it's $5, and you're looking for $6, that's 11% upside though. Usually takes 36 days to do this. It would be somewhere right out here. That's market days. So we're talking about 51 calendar days, which will push it out to potentially April for this to play out to the upside here. Now that is oil states international, oil related. If oil starts sucking it up, this will probably break down. Do I like the choppy price action off the lows? Not exactly my favorite, but it is an uptrend, and we can chop up and get that upper target without really a ton of effort here. And we can push it up in there without really breaking out of the channel we've been in. There's your opportunity. Stop down here. Be careful on that one. Right there. You can let me know if you like it or not like it. You don't have to take it. So, awesome, Frank. Make sure you post in Discord for me. And why is Bitcoin falling off a cliff again? Because they announced that stuff over the weekend and Wall Street got caught. Wall Street needs prices back lower on Bitcoin. They short the crap out of that. They love to short Bitcoin. They are shorting this like crazy. I will guarantee you. They are pushing this down with everything they got right now. Everything they can put into Bitcoin, they're pushing it lower. They were short a lot down here. They were piling on the shorts. Now this gets you in a bad position. You need to push it back down. There's the support. And then we might rip it right there. That's why I said before we open, if you were playing the monthly trade, you might want to get out of the open. Right there. Expectation on Bitcoin, probably going to push it right back down here. Wouldn't surprise me one little bit. Then we'll see. A breakdown might go lower. Breakout. There's the resistance going higher. ES turning red. Remember what I said. Like 90% of the time, we may take that whole move Friday back. Maybe a dead cat bounce, what they call that in the market. This could be a dead cat bounce. We go flush this right back down, make the lower low. Actually tag the roadmap line on the daily SPX chart before we think it higher. Remember, SPY is a derivative. It also missed. Right there. QQQ is also a derivative, but it fully hit. That thing I say about the 90%, that applies to SPX only, not to any other ticker. Don't get caught up in that stuff. When I talk about the market, SPX is the broad market, not any other ticker out there. All right. Hope you have a great day. I'll be back with you again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, 9:15 tomorrow morning. We'll do it all over again. Hunt for stuff to pay attention to.